Hello and welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. It's my Eurovision 2023 Top 37 countdown. It's place number 12, Moldova, Pasha Parfeni and Soarele. Please do click the subscribe button, ring that notification bell and like, share and comment below. The link to the music video is in the description, as is a link to my blog site with the written review. So always ready to pull a televote surprise, Moldova's 2023 entry is one of 4 previous Eurovision artists to return to the contest this year. And in fact, this artist has probably the most experience of the Eurovision stage of all of them. Pasha Parfeni represented Moldova in 2012. That was the year of the Loreen landslide. It's Lăutar was his song, and finished 11th in the final. He was also back the following year in 2013 as the composer of the 2013 entry, Oh Me, which was where he appeared on stage playing the piano. They also finished 11th in the final that year. So will he get a third chance of gracing the grand final? Well, he tried to represent Moldova again in 2020 in the national selection, but he came second to Natalia Gordienko. Presumably, he would have been given the 2021 slot had he won that year, as Natalia ended up representing Moldova that year. But he had no problems this year as Soarele swept to victory in the national final. The song is co-composed by Pasha. The lyrics are actually by his wife and, as he calls his muse, Juliana. It's a folk pop song, an ethnobop. It's a popular Eurovision genre, but we've not had an awful lot of, I think, this year. The lyrics of it kind of hark back to a sort of, and to be honest, the whole look of it and the feel of it hark back to kind of a prehistoric mystical time, and the lyrics talk of a prospective wedding and a romance, and with that wedding sort of calling to the titular sun and moon, because Soarele is the sun and the moon. You'll know Moldova is famous for having epic sax guy. Well, we don't have epic sax guy this year, but we do have epic flute guy. Pasha is joined on stage by a professional flautist. Now, as I say, I do enjoy my ethnobops, and this is no exception. It's pretty up-tempo, but it has a genuine sort of ethereal sort of feel about it. Would you feel like you get transported sort of back in time without it being like a really old folk song? It's obviously modern. It's a modern dance pop song, but it's folk dance. I really like the interaction between Pasha and the flautist, Sergiu, on stage, in terms of they have a sort of I won't say a flute off, but they have a sort of a dance off together. It works really well, I think, and adds to that kind of sort of primordial feel. The accompanying female vocalists or / backing vocalists, I think they're really strong. They come out in the chorus, and I think that's quite a striking moment. And they've got, well, I don't know whether they'll wear them in Liverpool, but certainly in the video, the music video, and in the national final performance, they had these enormous pair of antlers that they wore. So it was certainly not something you would forget. There is a little bit of both Fulan, which is of course France's entry, and Shum, which is Ukraine's entry in 2021 in this. Perhaps it's not quite as striking as Shum in terms of its Shum's fusion of sort of the folk sounds with very modern elements, but it has more coherence probably than Fulan, which, although I loved Fulan, was in my top 10 prior to the contest last year, but it ended up being a little bit of a hot mess on stage and got absolutely hammered by both the jury and the televote. I think this has sort of a greater coherence and solidity about it than that. That said, Pasha's been dealt quite a tough deal with where this is sitting in the semi-finals. It's in semi-final 1, which is obviously the tougher semi-final to get through. They're also sandwiched in between Israel and Sweden in the running order, two sort of the big favourites to do well. But this has been doing well in fan polls, and never underestimate Moldova's ability to put on memorable staging and a performance. They do generally do much better in the televote than they do with juries. So with a televote only semi-final and a performance and genre that should stand out, and of course Pasha having not plenty of experience on stage, I think there is a good chance that we could see Pasha back on a grand final stage for a third time. But let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments, and join me again soon as we get higher and higher in my countdown. Take care.